Hey guys, welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew. Today I want to do a quick video because I'm running out of daylight, but I wanted to talk about a few mistakes I made in the garden this past season that you should avoid making so you don't have catastrophic crop failures on your farm or backyard garden, so stick around. My spring carrots did really well, but my mid-July carrots, all of them that I planted, I rushed the planting, I rushed the bed prep, and they all failed, and it kind of ruined the rest of the market year for me. These two rows are an example of carrot rows. You can see all this stuff here. These are weeds that went to seed. So it's two things you don't want to do. You don't want to have weeds competing with your carrots, specifically carrots. But you also, it's double worse when you let it go to seed like this. And as I'm pulling these out of the ground right now, all of the tall weeds that just got out of control, I'm pulling them out. And as I pull them out, weed seeds are still falling a little bit, so I need to be careful. But this ruined my carrots. And another thing that I didn't do was I didn't broad fork these beds, and because I didn't broad fork, I got carrots that look like little nubs. Because the broad fork increases it aerates the soil, loosens the subsoil, which is all hard clay, and allows you to grow some long, beautiful carrots like I did in the spring when I had all that energy and all of that work that needed to be done to the bed preps. I did that in my first carrot rows early in the spring. I didn't do that for all of my carrot rows in the summer, and I ended up not getting the carrots like I hoped. And that's something that already made some plans to improve on for next year. So I actually made a video about how to grow carrots the right way. And I did that early this spring because I was really proud of how my carrots germinated and how they grew. And back then I put a lot of effort into my bed prep. And like I just mentioned, midsummer, my carrots didn't grow the right way because I didn't put that effort into the bed prep. So the things I forgot to do, because I was rushing to get them in the ground because I knew I was running out of time, was I didn't broad fork. I didn't do that because I just assumed I had planted carrots, the crop, right before in those same beds. So I just assumed that the soil would have been aerated enough just by the carrots, but that wasn't the case. They still should have been broad forked. And I also didn't add enough compost on top of the beds. So I should have done both of those things. And if I did, I probably would have got better germination and better carrots that I actually could have sold at market. The other thing that I didn't do, this could have go just to laziness or just me being tired, but when the weeds sprouted in these rows, I didn't get them early enough. In fact, it looks like some of these rows I might have just given up early and let the seeds go. Even in those rows where I was letting them grow, I should have, and because I gave up on harvesting them because the weeds just became too much, I should have still at least chopped off the tops of those weeds so they didn't go to seed, because they did. And now I'm probably going to have, for years to come, I'm going to have weed issues in all of these rows because I didn't cut the tops off of those weeds when I should have had the chance before they went to seed. So that's really important. I'm planning to get a 10-pound propane tank that I could put in my backpack and walk around really easily with the propane torch to get the weeds out after I plant all these things, so I can beat the weeds a lot better next year. So that's what I'm going to be doing to get rid of those weeds, because that is going to be a huge issue if I can't remedy that, because the carrots are a huge crop for me. I actually, the carrots became my #1 seller at the market over the salad mix. It's close, but the carrots I sold more of. And when I didn't have carrots after all these rows failed, that was just catastrophic. So my lesson that I've learned is to do what I did in the spring and take the time to do it right. Take the time to work the soil, use the broad fork, add any amendments and compost before planting those new row of carrots, because otherwise you're just wasting seed, wasting your time. So we don't want to do either of those things. So that's what I'm going to be doing next year in my carrot rows. Another thing I'm going to be doing differently next year that I didn't do this year was actual crop planning, like have it written down how long each individual crop was going to remain in that row and then what is going to come after. I kind of just went off the seat of my pants and just did that, what I felt like I should do. But from learning from Jean-Martin Fortier's masterclass, how to actually sit down and do real crop planning, I actually already made my crop plan for next year with all of the rows that I have available on my little farm. I've already planned out what was going to be in each row every month and week of the season. So I'm like light years ahead of where I was last 2 years doing this farm. But because I didn't do that last year, that also contributed to how rushed I was in these rows, and it led to the mistakes I made in all of my carrot rows. So because I'm already thinking ahead and have already completed my crop plan for next year, all the guesswork is out of it, and I can actually work back and look at when each thing needs to be in the ground and each thing needs to be out of the ground. And I've been using one of those Moleskine journals, daily planners, and I could actually go, and each day of the season next year I have a set of actions that I need to take each day or each week based on my crop plan. So that's what I'm going to be doing this winter, is writing down all of those things. Since I already completed my crop planning, I just need to go work backwards from my crop plan and figure out when I need to start things in trays, when things need to be planted. I'm going to put it all in my daily journal, and then I'll just work off that every day. So there's going to be no confusion, no rushing. I'm just going to have a set of things that I need to do each week, and I'm going to know exactly what I need to do. So there's no mystery and there's no rushing. So that's going to make a huge difference for next year. I might actually do a whole video on my crop planning because I'm kind of excited about it. Never done it before, but I feel really confident in having that crop plan already for next year. So if that's a video somebody might want to see, I'm probably going to end up doing that in the near future, talking about how I'm crop planning now for the future. Anyway, it's getting dark now, and that's going to wrap up this video. Just wanted to share that. It's something I was just thinking as I was out here pulling weeds out of these rows, thinking about next year and some mistakes I made. So hopefully you don't make those mistakes in your backyard garden or farm next year. All right. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you're new here. I'd really appreciate it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.